Okay, this one here is on the universal arbor, and all of the cutting stuff that I introduced this year in 2011 down there along with the camera wheels. I'm going to show you what I've done with the camera wheels. I don't know that I can do it to all cameras, but I think I can if you guys send me the wheels and work with me a little bit. First off, a lot of you guys seen the show, but if the ones that didn't, this is a 1/4 inch arbor with a 3/8 24 thread detail on the end of it. You can take anything that has a 3/8 24 thread detail and you can screw that on there. That's what you guys have been using existing in the field for quite some time. I made a nut to go on this universal arbor. It has a collet assembly in there, and that comes in 1/4 inch and 3/8 drive. Some people don't want to go to the bigger cut end of the technology. Now, with that being said, if you look at this, this is a standard unit. We started out with this, and we wound up rolling carbide underneath. And what happens is when you're in that pipe, here's your dimple in the hole right here. When you come up into that hole, it's no different than a Bridgeport mill. In order to pierce that hole, you need to come up and ramp back at the same time. So go to your farthest outreach of the hole and come up and back at the same time. You can rip that hole out until you can get this 3-inch piece in there. Once you get that 3/8 piece up in there, you could come over and touch that clay liner. Once you see the dust through your camera, then you suck that system down and it will cut from the back side. Now, if you look at the difference from the back side of this and this, I give you more cutting surface with this new one. This is brand new this year. This has been out there since 2008. Now, a lot of people like this. The price configuration on them, this is a little bit pricier than this, but I think overall that this is actually going to be the one that everybody likes. Now, there's an adapter that goes on there to fit 1/2-20 grinders. Some of you guys went and stepped up to a different grinder yourself. If you just wanted to buy the arbor, then you could get into the cut end of the industry. And then it's actually a 5/8 11 hole. Now, I don't know that I'm going to, if you're ordering one for 1/2-20, I don't know that I'm going to make all these sleeves. You might just get one that's got a 1/2-20 thread detail, and if you go to a bigger grinder, we can drill it out and retap it. Okay, that's a 5/8 diameter, 2-fluted cutter with a 1/2 inch shank that has a special 2-wrench grind flat on it. I would suggest that every time you go inside that pipe, it saves wear and tear in your cutter to have a brand new one of those on there. I know that if you take this material and you throw that against clay, it's very, very, very aggressive. Okay? Throughout that being said, everything that you've seen on that wall in that background is available to cut on the end of that grinder. You have a 6-inch, a 5-inch, a 4-inch cutter there that will fit on the end of this arbor. Everything across the top is 3/8 24, and we can make any configuration you want. And then everything around the other end there has got a 3/4 20, I believe it's 3/4 20 thread detail that spins on all that unit. You can go in there with various different components. You can go with just the cone. You can do cone cutter combo. I can show you all the different pictures. There'll be some more data that comes out there with it. Now, a lot of you have been wondering what was going on with the camera wheels, and I just put these camera wheels on a little arbor so you kind of see what they look like. This is a 3.5 inch diameter pier point camera. Okay, that's their standard wheel for a 420. That will go in your small pipe. I believe that down in Florida that they're using that in a 6-inch line. Okay, and then you get your offsets in there. This crawls very well upstream with that carbide cutting technology. I've tried the thicker technology with the carbide gritting. I went to an 8 grit. We've settled in with the 16 grit because it doesn't make your camera shake. And I'll show you the difference. I'll show you the difference right here. The difference is the heavier grit. Although it get more traction, it gets your camera bouncing through the pipe. Okay. I made a set of hubs, and I just did this after the show, not being out there and not knowing what you want. That's a 1-inch hub that I have in here. I could go 1.5 inches, 2, I could go 3, whatever you wanted within that hub. But if you take that hub and you pull that screw off, it's as simple as that. You're skied for an 8-inch pipe. It's as simple as putting your hub on, putting your wheel back on, and you're ready to go in a mainline pipe. The same camera system with very, very little changes can be used in both pipes. And God knows that we don't want to spend a bunch of money and a bunch of time. Time is everything for us. I think I've covered all the camera wheels within this part of the video. I'm going to show you just a little bit on the chain drive technology on the cutter. And then if you want to go into the cutting technology, this is primarily for the 615, the 2000 to 2200 series Aries, and the Tri-Tech cutter. What I did before, you all know what you had in here was a set of spur gears. Okay? What I did is change this over to a 1/4 pitch chain with a little cam adjuster. Okay? And I give you the ability to adjust this cam adjuster from the outside of the cutter. If you look, there's an intersecting hole that goes straight through and bypasses this bearing, and it's lower than a bearing. You go in the front, there's a set screw, and that thing has got a little 45 on it. So when I shove the set screw up in there, it side shifts the dowel pin over, and it allows you to loosen this up and tighten your cam adjuster to take all of the play out of your head. If you look at this cutter right here, there is absolutely no movement whatsoever side to side on that head assembly. It is very key and very crucial to do that, especially if you go into the scissor lift head. You get up there and that head gets bouncing around like this inside that hole. I also took that cutter and I sealed it with nitrogen. I give you an oil galley here on the side. You pull this out, and I took it from here to here and give an oil galley to help rotation. I put a seal here, and there's a seal down inside there to seal that 1/4 inch shaft. There's also a set of set screws. When they go in them holes, it seals those holes off. There's an O-ring here, and then you go to the end of the barrel and the other end of the cutter. I've sealed the entire unit with nitrogen and give you the ability, you already do with your camera systems, to take your nitrogen purge bottles and purge that with nitrogen. NASA proved that in our Apollo missions that moisture cannot exist in a nitrogen-based atmosphere. I've done that to protect your components within that controller, within that cutter. You spend a lot of money on them little motors, and that's about all I'm going to say about that. Some of you guys are not even running that particular cutter, but there's going to be another video that goes in depth because I'm going to have to take that cutter apart and show you everything that I've done to it. I've done an awful lot out of there, and I've taken all the problems out of that end of the industry.